Wicked. Hello, everyone. Today we are joined by Hojin. This is episode 2 of Model Talk, where we take a deep dive into the fashion industry more from a model's perspective or creative perspective, and kind of give our listeners and viewers some insight as to how to get into the industry and many various topics surrounding it. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Maybe you can just give a brief introduction about who you are.
Sure. Hello, everyone. I'm Hojin Lee. I'm half French, half Korean, and I'm based in Korea, living with my parents. I'm a fashion model and a street photographer.
Wow, amazing. I think like you're underselling your level though, because Hojin is a top model here. Like I think you shot with like what, just about every major magazine or
Yeah,
reputable
true.
brand here, right?
Yeah.
So maybe we can start back at the beginning. I do want to talk a little bit about both the things you're doing now, not only working as a model, but also as
Mm-hmm.
a creative.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you find your way into the fashion industry?
Like modeling, you say?
Yeah, like did you start with a camera and then
Uh,
transition, or was it modeling?
I mean, oh yeah, true. I started with camera, but like that was like back in high school because I was street casted when I was in high school, just
Mm.
as you were.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I just was taking some picture classes that maybe helped me to do what I am right now. And yeah, I was street casted when I was on the second year of high school, and at that time, like I didn't know anything about fashion modeling except when my grandmother was just saying like, "Your walking is cool. You should do fashion model." Yeah, it's like, yeah, yeah, but like that was like far, and I didn't think at all about the fashion modeling stuff. And when it started, I did it like without telling my parents because it wasn't just street casting with an agency. It's like
Mm.
a brand. Just two designers came up to me
Oh,
with their
that's cool.
business card and they say, "Oh, you look cool, and I would like to use you for lookbook shooting."
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "What's a lookbook shooting?" And at that time, there was like in Korea, the news were saying like I don't know. Have you heard about the Chinese market where they sell people in intestine and they
Oh.
get killed and stuff? Like, yeah, there was those kind of kidnapping season at that time. And when I got the business card, I was just like checking on the internet if they
Mm.
were real and it was if the brand existed,
Mm-hmm.
and it was, and they had an like a magazine article with their faces, which I saw them,
So you knew your
and so I
organs
knew I
are
was like, oh,
safe?
okay, it's cool. And I didn't tell my parents. I just did it because they said they were going to pay me cash.
Mm.
And at that time, like I don't get much pocket money, and that was like a big money for me. So
Mm.
I didn't tell them. But then I continue to tell them I want to do more shootings.
Mm-hmm.
They relied me to other brands, and that's how I started. But then there was like a little stop because I had to go to the college,
Mm.
and my parents were like, "No modeling
Oh,
if you
really?
don't have your diploma." Because I got some contract,
Mm-hmm.
like other agencies sent me the contract saying you should do fashion model full time.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Oh shit, cool." I feel like, yeah, I should do that. But then I was still studying good, so I went to a law school. I mean, not a real law school. It's like a faculty of law
Mm.
in Canada. And at that time, I was like just studying. But then, when you start something and you have like those kind of flashbacks saying you should do this in your in your brain,
Mm-hmm.
you still want to do it.
Of course.
And I was just hanging out in Ottawa, and I found out a brand shop where they had like cool clothes, and I just got in touch with the designer, and I was doing modeling there again,
Mm.
and it was called Zagara, and now he's a producer, like film producing and stuff. No more branding,
Mm-hmm.
but still getting in contact with him. I did a first show with him for his brand, and that's how like kept me in my mind. I should do full time model, like
Mm.
in a lifetime model. and that's how I had to convince my parents and tell them I want to go back home, drop off school, and do full time modeling. And that's how I started. Like that's a
Wow.
brief thing.
It's interesting that you kind of have that story of, like really wanting it and then going and finding the opportunity,
Mm-mm.
like going and talking with those brand designers.
Mhm.
Because there was another model that I spoke to, and she was kind of the same. Like she was like, yeah, like I found fashion is like a real passion of mine.
Mm-mm.
So instead of like kind of like waiting and seeing what's gonna come my way, I was like going to these brands and like talking to them, like,
Mm-mm.
hey, like I
Mm.
love your clothes, like I want to shoot them, blah
Mhm.
blah 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 blah. And she got a lot of opportunity out of it too. And obviously, you're at the top now, so
Yeah, but I had to, I had those rules with my mom. Like,
Mm.
I had to convince them because like dropping school is not like a easy thing to do.
Mhm.
And she said either you go to another university in Korea, but I went to a French school, so I didn't have any Korean educational background with my Korean passport
Mhm.
because I went to school in Korea with my French passport in a French school, and I had to pass those 검정고시, those kind of tests saying like you did your middle school, high school and stuff. Also passed the Sunung, but not passing. Just went to read the questions because I didn't have enough time to do the exam. But still, yeah, I went to a cyber university, which was a public university. Now
Mhm.
I just graduated, so yeah, I have a diploma as what my parents wanted, and yeah, I hope I don't study anymore.
Me too. So, like now that like I think maybe like in the beginning, it sounds like your parents were not the most supportive of
Hmm.
like pursuing just a pure fashion career, but I think now like you've established yourself obviously.
Mm.
Is like your family more like in tune with the fashion industry, working as a model, working as a
Mm-mm.
professional photographer now than they were in the beginning?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I mean, still they don't accept, especially my little sister. She's like, well, yeah, she has like those kind of stereotype, like you're working, you're just getting dressed, changing, and you
Mm-mm.
just gain money like easily. I'm like just staying on the desk, studying like hours and hours. Like, 'cause she has like a good brain. Like she's really like into study. She do biochemical and stuff,
Oh
which
wow.
I wouldn't understand at all. A
Mm.
thing, and yeah, maybe she's jealous, but like I did still bought her laptops and like everything she needed because like she doesn't know because my parents told me, could you like help us
Mm.
for paying her some of her tuitions fee
Mm.
and stuff, because I'm not really friendly with my sister, but yeah, all these things happen to do because I did modeling,
Mm.
and yeah.
I think like a lot of people have, I mean, this is a topic that I always end up discussing with people is I think a lot of people have like a really big misconception
Mm-hmm.
about what modeling is,
Mm-hmm.
and that it's, like just standing in front of a camera and like smiling a little bit, maybe moving a little bit. And then when they're put in that situation, they realize how difficult it can become very
But
quickly.
yeah, for the second shootings, that might
Mm.
be, yeah. Can still have the same stereotypes, but then if this becomes like regularly, like
Mm.
every week, they will say, "Oh no, it's not my thing."
So like what's one of the things you find most difficult about being a fashion model? I know for me maybe it was like the traveling, always
Mm.
having to move, especially like in the early stages of your
Mm-hmm.
career because your book is everything and
Mm-mm.
you need material from everywhere.
Mm.
But maybe like you have like a different viewpoint or
Well, I think like yeah, same traveling is same, but like it's not because like a back pain or like all the stuff I have to take with me. It's more like about the money,
mm,
because like people think like when you go to the Europe season, it's more like the brands pay your tickets and stuff.
mm,
But yeah, that happens sometimes.
mm,
But that's if you're placed in Europe and you have like a shooting, I don't know, in like Sweden or
mm,
like in Germany, the client can pay the
mm,
airplanes or the hotels. But mostly when I'm in Korea and I want to do the Europe seasons, I have to pay all by myself.
mm.
except for the first season when I was booked for the brand
Yeah.
exclusively. But yeah, all the money I have to get like on the side for the fashion week whenever I earn money.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the biggest thing. And the second one is like for me, there's different kind of type of models. Like tall models, short models like me, skinny models, and like those that's like super muscular
Mm-hmm.
models with our Imperial Armani,
Yeah.
Dolce and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not those kind of models.
Me
I'm
neither.
like a high fashion model, and yeah, getting in shape is really really hard. Like
Mm.
especially, I mean, I know being muscular fit it's hard too because you gotta do like a workout every day. But being skinny, I'm not. Yeah, I am skinny, like born skinny, but still, if I eat, I get fat.
Mm-hmm.
So getting in shape is not easy as people would think because like I can't eat what I want eat. Especially I'm like more like a dessert person,
Mm.
and like not eating food is okay, but like not eating sugar is like different
Hard.
level.
Yeah. I think I'm the same way for chocolate. It's just part of like my major food groups now that I have to be eating it all the time. Um, was there ever like a really hard point like getting in shape for like a specific show? Like I know
Mm.
you've worked a lot in Europe,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes their um, what's the word? Like their requirements
Mm.
for sizing can
Mm-hmm.
be really, really, really strict because
Mm-mm-mm.
everything is sample. Like, was there ever like one specific job that was?
Well, yeah, that's my first season and first brand in Europe, which was YSL Saint Laurent,
Mhm.
and yeah, I mean, when I was booked like in Korea, I was like 60 kilo.
Mm.
I'm like 182, and when they told me you should come for the casting, you're exclusively booked. It will pay you the plane ticket. Uh, I said one round trip ticket because I don't need hotel because I'm like I have family there.
Mhm.
So I had to change the deal with them. And when I saw that, I was like, that was my dream brand, and I want to get it so that I can go to Europe season after doing that show or lookbook. Because at that time I didn't know if it was a show or
Mm.
lookbook or campaign. And since I'm not that tall, and people told me you would never be able to do a Europe Fashion Week, and well now I do, but at that time like YSL model for me when I look at on YouTube or like on Instagram, they were like skinny but like super skinny. I was
Mm.
like guessing, can I get like at least can I get the fittings or stuff?
Mhm.
And you can't tell by yourself when you go you look up on the mirror if you're skinny enough, like even though people tell you you're skinny.
Mhm.
So I had to I lost like I had only 2 weeks to prepare to take the plane, and I lost like 10 kilos during two weeks.
Wow.
And at that time was the COVID was super harsh, so I couldn't go to the gym to lose
Mm.
weight. But like fortunately I have like this uh riverside running course around my house,
Mhm.
and I ran like 10 kilometers per day. So
Wow.
like one is in the morning, 5 kilo,
Mm.
one in a evening, and
Wow.
yeah.
Would you ever do it again? Like, is there like? It sounds like you've worked with like most of the brands that you really wanted to,
Mm-hmm.
but is there like one designer that is still on your bucket list that if they were like, hey, look, I really need you to be in like this kind of shape or this kind of shape, whatever it was for a specific show, would you go through that process just to walk the show again?
Like, I have to think about it
Yeah.
again, but yeah, I would like to because like I want to do like I mean Chanel doesn't do much men shows. Like they don't have men shows. They don't
Mm.
put male models in the on the shows, but they also have perfume line,
Mhm.
fine jewelry line, campaigns and stuff where you have men models. And if they contact me and they said, you should wear the women clothing and you should get in shape as much as women like Bella, Gigi are skinny as much.
Mhm.
So if they say that, then I will be I would.
Okay.
Yeah, Chanel is like different level. So yeah.
Is that like the one brand that's still on like your checklist?
Chanel and Celine, cause like
Celine,
at that time when I did YSL, I was booked also on Celine. I was like bothly booked, but Celine didn't give me exclusive, so I wasn't sure if I could go in Europe and get the casting, and they don't pay any flight ticket or stuff, so I have to do it by my own.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, then I should do it with YSL. And at that time, there was also the fact, like, I didn't know, but after I did it, people told me, like, I was the first Korean to ever do work with YSL a house.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything because, like, I'm not 100% Korean. There was, like, another
Yeah.
dude who came out after who
Okay.
did the shows, and he was, like, everywhere on the TV, newses, and I didn't get that. But I'm okay. My dad said you're the first halfie to do that. So I was like, okay, good.
Do you? Because I know now you're based mostly in Korea, but you do still travel for some of the fashion weeks. Do you have like one location that's like the top for you? Like, is it Paris? Is it Milan? Is it London? Is it New York?
Oh, New York, I never been before now, but I just signed with them, so maybe later, but I don't know. It's hard. Definitely not Milan. Milan, I don't like it.
How come?
Yeah, I mean, it looks small, but like it's quite big. The city is quite big, and the roads are not cool to walk on. Yeah, and they don't have much good brands. Like big brands, they only have exclusive models, so it's not cool. But Paris, I would say Paris more because like I'm half French.
I was
and,
gonna
like,
say,
yeah.
like, I feel like there's some bias creeping in a little
Yeah,
bit.
and like, it's like easy for me to get there. Like, I still use my Korean name even though I have my French name when I go to Europe, which is one of my marketing stuff. When I go to the castings and they ask me in English, they ask me where I came from. I just say South Korea before like listen them speaking French. When I go out, I say au revoir, merci, bonne journée. And like,
And then they're
you know,
all
they're like,
faces
whoa,
drop.
it's dropped. They're like stunned. They're like, whoa, you have like the fluent French accent. And like, well, yeah, I'm half. I never lived here, but I'm half.
Do you have like any desire to go back for like maybe this spring summer season or next fall? Like,
I think like, I'm not sure yet, but I'm not going on the SS season. Maybe if they ask me, but well, now I don't have much interest doing shows, and even the Europe agencies just told me don't come during the fashion week seasons unless if you want, because I will lose money for nothing. Because I'm not eligible to do much shows, because not because of my height, but mostly because of my shoe size. I'm like
really?
39. And for men shows, that's hard. Like
yeah, it's
I
usually like
got
43, right?
it's like minimum that I should get 42. And I lost jobs like shows at the fittings because of my shoe size. Because like they don't want to risk, even though if I do like a perfect walking in front of the designer and stuff, they're like, oh, you walk really good and stuff. But the next day you don't get any emails, and you're like, oh fuck, I didn't get it. And yeah. Well, that's part of me, so I'm okay. But they told me to come more like during the B season for more like print jobs.
So like,
well, which is good for me, like money.
I mean, they always pay more, but I mean, some models I talk to, like Runway is their like that's their favorite, regardless of money being involved. Like they just like being able to walk down the aisle.
Spotlights.
And, like, yeah, exactly. Is there like a specific kind of job now that you enjoy more, like maybe an editorial that has more creative freedom, or?
I mean, I understand the fact what the other model told you about the shows, but like I have the same thing. Shows is something different from shootings, cause like shooting goes like from 1 hour shooting, maybe like 24 hours, like can go really long or short, and magazines you can be really creative. You can do whatever you want. They'll take any pictures from it. and that's it, and you get that pictures for a lifetime period. But like shows, it's just instant. Like you walk, you don't remember after doing the runway.
Yeah.
After if you see the videos, you're like, oh yeah, I did like that. But like at the moment, you're like straight. You just look up, like in front of you. I can't even see the people's like sitting. Except some people like Tommy Cashware who had like those kind of weird kind
Crazy
of style.
outfit.
Yeah, you can just see that there's like a weirdo sitting there. But except that, like it's like you can see sometimes when the shows like the people, the guests, if they're really close from the models, that's kind of stressful. If if you have like comfortable shoes, comfortable kind of clothing, it's okay. But like if you have like a high heel, oh yeah. Well, that's why since there are a lot of risk, it's kind of like makes me more I don't know what to say, but like
tense, like there's pressure.
this pressure is like after when you do the runway, you get wow, I did that.
What was it like? Because you were mentioning like YSL was like your dream brand, right? Or one of them. What was it like when like you first came out onto the runway for the YSL show?
Oh, I didn't do the show. I did the lookbook shooting.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I wanted to do the show, but like same. I was confirmed on the day of the fitting, but this I'm not going to say the F word, but like those stylists.
It's okay. We can bleep it out. Don't worry. Just be yourself.
Yeah,
be free.
This fucking stylist came up to Anthony Vaccarello, who's right now still the creative director for YSL, and they said, he looks cool, but like he should the shoes is too big for him. I was like, shut the fuck up.
Okay, so then maybe I can ask like, do you remember walking like your very first show?
Oh yeah, my first show was the Wild Project show with the collaboration of Jean-Paul Gaultier, and I got the key look, which I didn't know until I came out from the show and people told me. But yeah, because it was really really long. The runway to do like it wasn't like a maze kind of show. It was like a one way and come back, and the tempo. Because like whenever you do shows, depends on the music, depends on the creative director or the casting director. They tell us during the rehearsal to do like slow walk or like strong walk or like big path and stuff. And they said big path and slow walk. And we had those kind of like classical music in a parking zone. And the shoe same was kind of big for me. It was like those kind of sleepers. I was kind of scared to lose it while walking, but it was okay. But yeah, it was really long, and I just remember because it was that far from my grandma's house. So yeah, I remember that show.
Were you like, I know the first time I ever did Runway, I was so nervous because it's very different, like you mentioned. Like, were you nervous at all about? I mean, especially like this is like a pretty big show.
Well, yeah, I was super nervous because like nothing about the fact that it was a key look. It was like I was on one of the last models to be on the runway, and oh no, I was on the top, on the first, because last was
you
more
opened
like
the show?
I was like third or fourth.
Okay, wow, cool.
And in front of me, I had the daughter of Paul Walker.
Oh wow, really?
So yeah, and there was another designer who worked on the show as a model, and they were like super models on the shows, on the sets, and I was like, wow. And also liked Glenn Martin since before, and after the shows, I had to go up to the designer and told him, oh, that's my first show. And he was making jokes, oh, my brand now is going down. That's why I can remember. And I did it again the next season. That's why I can remember my first show.
Wow, that's really cool. Is there anybody within the fashion industry, like when you were just starting out, that was kind of like your I don't want to say idol, but like inspiration to like develop your style or like your style of shooting as a model?
There was. I mean, for me, having an idol is like to get over him or her,
Mm.
and for me, it was like mostly those kind of Eurasian model who looks like me, who has
Mm-hmm.
kind of same prospects, like same height, so
Mm-hmm.
that I can do better than him, or
Mm.
I can overcome him. And for me, it was like since I'm based in Korea, it was James McQuan who was also a model, half model.
Mm-hmm.
He's half American, half Korean, and yeah, he looks like Jesus. He has like long hair, he has like beard and stuff. Now we got in touch. I'm his son's godfather.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I don't know what
Okay.
happened like that, but like, yeah, I used to know his wife when
Mm.
I just started modeling in high school
Mm-hmm.
because they used to live nearby my school, and that's how I get in touch. And like, I never saw him until I became major, like 21, 22 in the
Mm-hmm.
fashion field. But then when I saw him, I was like, wow.
Well, that's really cool. That's like so crazy now that
Yeah, that's like,
it's come full circle and you're the
yeah.
godfather of his son. Um, okay, I got a question that I think is like what a lot of people have been asking us personally is,
Mhm.
you know, if I'm really passionate about fashion and I haven't been picked up by an agency or I'm thinking about modeling, like what are my first steps on getting into the industry? Should I go to an open casting call or you know, there's many
Mhm.
different ways like you can get your start.
Mhm.
Your experience is a little different where you're
Mhm.
scouted, but if somebody wasn't, what do you think is the best way for them to start getting into the modeling industry?
While well, that's different. It's like if it's focused on Korea
Mm.
or in Europe,
Well, we can say,
Korea more.
yeah, Korea.
Okay, Korea is like you have so many opportunities
Mm.
to start modeling. I mean, I don't understand why, but they have those kind of academy for becoming a model.
Mm-hmm.
You pay like for months, like those kind of school. It's like a preschool where you get lessons of how you walk, how you shoot, how
Mm.
you be nice in front of a camera. Well, academy is okay because like it's like short, like three
Mm.
months. Like we're learning for a new sport, but they also have this university degree for modeling.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they do. Not even like I would understand if it was just like a 2 year program. Like Korea has like 2 year and 4 year university. 4 year
Mm.
university like is a real BA,
Mm-hmm.
and you have those 2 year one for something less hard, like I
It's
don't
like an
know.
advanced diploma or something,
Like for
right?
makeup artists
Okay.
or like those kind of stuff, like more like artistic
Mm-hmm.
or becoming steward, like not a pilot, but like
Air stewardess?
yeah, air
Yeah, yeah.
stewardess, those kind of
Mm-hmm.
university. And if that was the case, okay, there are like 2 or 3 university that have 2 years program, but there are also university we have their 4 years
Really?
program like a BA. I'm like, whoa, like what would you learn for like 4 years to become a model?
Yeah, I'm just trying to now visualize myself how they're gonna test you for that
And
program,
you
right?
can't just get in, like
Mm.
you have to pass some interviews to get.
Mm.
So it's like a casting to be casted, not for an agency but for for a
A school
university
program?
class. Yeah, so I'm like, what?
Do you
I
know
mean,
anybody that's gone through it or like
there are a lot of models who started like that. I
oh
know
really?
Sora Choi is also
Oh.
from Dongdok Girls University
Mm-hmm.
for modeling. I mean, like mostly, good top models or like good faces, nice faces. They drop off school after one semester. They just
Mm.
get contracts from everywhere because
Mm-hmm.
I can do casting while you are at the university. They have those kind of agencies coming to the school and
Mm-hmm.
do castings. So that's why you can have still have some more opportunities every semester. You can have some castings with
Mm-hmm.
other agencies. Show them you've changed, which is not easy if you're like a freelance
Mm.
model. You can't just send an email. I want to get a meeting with you.
Mm-hmm.
And models, like agencies, they will just see if he's okay. They do a little modeling. If he's not, they don't. But like at that university, still if you're not good or not, agencies just they have those schedules meetings come and they see models even though they don't want to. So that's an opportunity maybe.
That's true.
But for me, all the DMs I get also for the model from the models asking me how I have to start and stuff. Korean is the best. Korea is the best to start like a freelance model, and I wouldn't suggest like academies or stuff, because like there are a lot of street photographers to ask to, because like at first like you need to get used to be in front of cameras.
Yeah, of
Like
course.
shows is after, like shows you can get it after doing shootings. And you don't like mostly you don't start with shows like when you're in Korea. You start with shootings, and then if you're having some fashion week, you do model for the fashion week. Like fashion show models, when they say show models, they don't do only shows.
Of
They
course.
do shootings, campaigns. That's same. So either you go on IG, you look up for the fashion photographers, ask them, I want to profile. They don't ask you for money; they just shoot you, because that's
like
that's
a
a book for them
TFP,
too.
yeah.
It's like a win-win. And other than that, if you really don't know, maybe academy would be fine. Yeah, for like 1 month, 2 months. That's like a good investment for just starting or how to learn. Because like people told me they go to the academy not just for becoming a model, but also to be in shape, like how to stay in still, or like be nice in front of camera, smile in front of cameras. Because it's not only models who just be in front of cameras.
Yeah,
like,
of course. Yeah.
like for any job interview or stuff, if they need that, they do that.
Do you find, because I know you've worked both under an agency, but also now as a freelance, do you have a preference as to, I know, okay, let me rephrase this really clearly. Do you prefer working with like a management company that kind of takes care a lot of the little things for you, or do you enjoy now working as a freelance where everything is in your control?
Well, well, yeah, I would say freelance, like in under my control, cause like I'm kind of organized about what I want to do for work. Except for that, I'm not at all. But uh, yeah, I can plan my schedule and do whatever I want to do and shoot the brands which I would like to shoot. Because like when you're in a agency, it's just like as if you were in a company.
Yeah.
You get the work, you just
Do it.
do it, just get done it. Uh, so, and also when I was on my with my ex agency, when I wanted to have holidays, like with my girlfriend or my family or stuff, I told them at least a month before, I'm going to leave on that date and come back on this date. And every time, I don't know why, but maybe because the clients, they have all, I had like this kind of jinx, like I have a shooting every time I want to like
Go
leave the
somewhere?
country or like go to on a trip. But yeah, they ask me if I want to do the shoot or not. But every time it's a big job. It's always a jinx for me. So, but yeah, so I can't go on a holiday as I want, because you never know. Like when you're on the with an agency, you can't just like go on a holiday. Boom. Tomorrow I'm going to Jeju. Tomorrow I'm going in Japan, because you can have meetings suddenly. Like,
Yeah.
you should be prepared
Of course.
and share the schedule with the bookers every time. But when you're alone, I mean, if you get context, if you didn't read, then that day you don't have the meetings. That's so. And yeah, except mentioning about my price to the clients, that's okay. Cause like sometimes you have to make a deal, and since you want to get more money and more money, when you think you're going to lose your job, you kind of want to go a bit less high from your price, right? And that's not good. So that was one of my hard thing on the beginning of becoming a freelancer again. But now it's okay. People know me, and I do my marketing alone, so it's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I think a lot of people that inevitably make those transitions,
Mhm.
there are people like yourself, right? Like they have a resume that's 20 pages long,
Mhm.
and really know the industry.
Mhm.
Like one of the things I think a lot of models coming in now think that going freelance right off the bat is really great because, you know, I can control this and I can charge what I want
Mhm.
and blah, 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 blah. But I think agencies play a really strong role in developing the early careers of
Mhm.
models and setting them up maybe to go that route later on if they so choose. Um, but yeah, I think it's really awesome that you've found a way to make it work
Well,
now.
often it depends also uh, on the agencies,
Mm.
because like if it's like a small agency, they care one by one the models
Mm-hmm.
itself, which was my agency before. But sometimes I was thinking about how would it look like being in a big agency where they have like
Mm.
several bookers and they take care of everything.
Mm-hmm.
They don't make any miss. Cause
Mm.
like with my ex agency, there were some miss.
Mm-hmm.
Cause they don't we didn't have any other bookers except my boss. I mean,
Ah,
boss will say like the owner of the agency.
okay.
Yeah. So except for that, it was okay. But yeah, sometimes I know that the Korean agency is a bit different from the Europe agencies. It
Mm-hmm.
looks like an entertainment because whenever you go forward, there is a manager who comes with
Yeah.
you. And since I've seen those models, every time I go on a shoot, they have a manager.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, oh, I would like to get one. But yeah, I mean, modeling is all by yourself. So
Mm.
I feel like freelancer right now is cool with me. So I'm going to keep that way.
Mm. So I wanted to ask, like, I know you're also working as a creative now, like,
Mm-hmm.
you've been working as a creative for quite some time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, do you prefer one medium over the other, being behind the camera or being in front of the camera?
Yeah, I get that question a lot these
Uh,
days. It's not easy because like this the opposite job, I have
mm.
to say. um I'm always in front of the camera,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes now I do be behind the camera, and there's like so different kind of passion on the both side.
Mm-hmm.
And mostly like since I do modeling, when I shoot, I know what aspects of the model is cool and how he would look like good on the pictures.
Mm-hmm.
So I can do those kind. I can give him advice or her an advice about shootings. And I don't know. I'm not like those kind of fashion photographers I meet like at the editorials or stuff. I'm
Mm-hmm.
more like doing it behind the scenes. Like during the shootings, I'm outside shooting someone else,
Mm-hmm.
or mostly fashion week street photographer.
Yeah, I saw your stuff
Yeah.
from the last Seoul Fashion Week. It was really cool.
Or sometimes I do party photography and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And so it's so different. And I mostly used to like black and white pictures. So when I go to the fashion week, people having dressed like me right now, red, green, and stuff, and they just like walk around me, just like saying, "Could you take me in pictures?" Like, you know what I'm saying, and you know, I don't get any interest in you except if you're like black and white. Yeah, maybe, but like, yeah, there's like those funny things to do. And since I do sometimes castings too,
Mm-hmm.
that helps me a lot when I'm
Mm.
a photographer. I can see like it's different me watching you right now, like with my eyes,
Mm.
and watching you behind the camera. Like I
Mm.
can see more stuff. Maybe because I can zoom in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to go like through you and see everything. But yeah, it's different, but I like both on the same way. Now I'm not saying I'm going to become a full-time photographer. I'm going to do both on the same level,
Mm-hmm.
but since I have like a 20-page resume, I said, as
Mm.
a model, now I have to get this photography level to that level, and to match it up. That will take some times, but that's why I'm showing people I'm doing a lot of photography, like personal work and stuff. Show them I'm going to grab this level until my model career.
Are there any models like European, Korean, doesn't matter, like any models that you really want to shoot?
Mm. No. I mean, good things about me is like since I'm modeling and I know a lot of models, I see and work a lot with them. When I go to the fashion week, one thing I'm different with the other street photographers is like I'm also by myself a model, so I can shoot models uh, easier. Like I can approach them easier, and they know me, I know them. We talk, and and I take them in picture, it's more like natural. It's not like I don't like mostly I don't take pictures someone standing still. It's like something where like someone calling like, oh, I'm looking that way, and I take that shot. Same people walking through me, like next to me, past me. I take those kind of pictures, more like live pictures I like. Then street photographers where they're like grouping each other when there's like an influencer or a star just like stopped in front of the road, and all the car drivers like, what the fuck with the fashion week? And I don't like that stuff. I mean, it is cool, but there's like 50 or 100 photographers taking the same pictures. That's not cool. It's not fun. So yeah. So since I shoot a lot of models doing fashion weeks, I don't have preference of shooting someone specifically right now.
Are there any brands that are like, oh my gosh, I really want to like shoot their clothes just because of like the composition of their pieces, or?
Oh yeah, Miu Miu, brands, or Bottega Veneta. I mean, I like semi-classic, semi-casual, and it looks cool when it's black and white and you're dressed like in a suit. So I like the OG kind of vibe. Maybe that's why. And except from that, I don't really much like Balenciaga kind of look. It's like dark. It looks like a alien, and it's not cool for me. I mean, it's not my style, not my kind of style. I would guess.
But I think like some of my favorite photos ever are like the old Saint Laurent campaigns in black and white, with just the skinny black tie. Like it's so classic and just looks so good, like forever. Okay. Wow. What else do I want to know? I'm sorry. I'm like trying to think of some other interesting things, because I know like you've had a lot of experience that a lot of people don't have the opportunity to. Do you find like working in Korea is extremely different than working in Europe? Like, because I know working with the clients here from not only a booking perspective but also as a model perspective, it's very different. Do you? I think like here in Korea, there's a little less freedom for expression in the shootings. It really depends on the client, but I always felt like in Europe or North America, or even somewhere in like South Asia or Southeast Asia, like I had more ability to play with the photographer as I do now. Do you feel that same kind of sentiment, or do you think they are giving you more freedom?
Well, that depends on the what kind of shootings you're doing, because like editorials give you just total freedom. Or sometimes they have those kind of references. They have this concept they want to shoot with. So I don't want those kind of pictures, or I don't want those kind of poses. Like simple, natural is the best kind of. And sometimes they want like I want it extravagant. I want it like super cruel, like weird kind of poses. But when I'm shooting mostly like commercials or like lookbook shootings, it depends really on the style of the brand. Like what kind of style they are wearing. If it's classic, they like a classic kind of pose. Yeah, it's like freedom of pose. I was like, as you said, they don't have it much. Like they don't trust the models. They more trust the photographer. And nowadays, like, except on the beginning of my career, I had the same issue. Like, they don't have much respect on the models. They don't trust them. They don't give any. Well, sometimes they don't even give food, or like they just take those cold time right after lunch so that they don't have to pay the lunch.
Yeah.
But nowadays, photographers like to have this interaction with the model, so it's a play between the photographer and the model, and also it depends on the brand. So like, if the clients is cool, everything is cool. But if the client's shit, then your shooting is going to be really hard. Yeah.
Have you ever had like have you ever had to blacklist a client because like they were just
No, yeah, I do have blacklist clients. Like those clients I don't want to meet anymore. They're like those kind of clients. There's like two kind of style, like, but that depends on the person really. Cause I had one time a shoot. It wasn't that long, the shooting itself, but at that time I was super expensive as a model, and I was one of the top priced model on the market. And they tried to do a negotiation with my agency, but they failed. And when I went to the shooting, I was shooting, everything was cool. The ambience, everyone, the environment was cool, nice. But one time, like one of the clients, that there were two designers, and like saying, they were whispering, but the environment was super small. Even the whispering, you can just hear it. And they were saying, "Oh, he's worth the price," and that's not a comment you would say in front of the model. They weren't even far from me. Like, I don't know. It depends on the person. If when you hear those kind of sentences, you're okay with it. But at that time, I wasn't really feeling good when they said that comment. And after that, they were rude with the makeup artist. They were asking her pay on the set, which is not
okay.
not okay. You just say that after on your car talk or like on text message. And the second one, those shootings where you don't hire photographers. Like, the client itself shoots it. But yeah, sometimes they're really cool. They have those photography skills super on a top level, and they're really cool. The team is nice and stuff. But there are those kind of I would say old clients. When they have their staff, they really don't care about their staff. And same. There was this client. I'm a smoker, but like a social smoker, I became, because if I want to have some rest during shootings, I should be a smoker.
Yes.
So that's why sometimes, even though I smoke e-cigs, I put like the pack of cigarette on the table of the monitor just to show them I need rest while shooting. But he didn't care because he was a known smoker. And all the staffs for them, in the clients, like, they were smokers, and they had to look at him every time if they wanted to go to the shootings. And he shooted. I had to like, mostly like 200 pieces I had to wear during 6-7 hours.
Wow.
And it's 200 pieces because like, it wasn't just like t-shirt and pants. You have to put it again in the pants, like tuck in, and shoot again 45 side and stuff. So it looks like multiply twice. The thing you did same, you do it again with another style. So it was like 200.
Yeah.
And I didn't like his vibe. Like, every time he shoots, he doesn't have those kind of photography skills. He like, oh wait, I think I missed do it. I have to do it again. The time is ticking.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get extra hours. I mean, I get more money, but still, like, I'm exhausted already. And the fact, like, they didn't put all the racks of clothes.
Oh, like ready to go.
Ready to go. It's like. Suddenly there's like boxes coming again, and then putting clothes again. I was like, what?
I've had clients before that like we're getting towards the end of the shooting and they're like, oh, but can you do like OT? Like there's more clothes coming. And then like a delivery truck literally just shows up and they're just unloading boxes. I'm like, are we shooting next season as well? Like what is going on?
There's also like those kind of shootings where like you're done
Yeah.
early than expected,
Mm-hmm.
but they still trying to do something with you
Yeah.
because like you're expensive and like they don't want to spend time or go back to the office.
They want the maximum value for their dollar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are the blacklist. Also, when they don't give me any rest time, like even they don't give like the time I have to go to the restroom. Like I'll make it quick. I mean, bro, it's like 7 hours shooting. It's like at least I have to go once at the toilet if I need it. And when they don't give food, or they don't like they have food, but every time I grab something, they give those side eyes. They don't look at you like, you're eating? Shooting?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm a human, bro.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I'm skinny enough. I can just eat that. I'm not going to get fat.
Well, I think like some clients understand like that like the model is also just a normal person, but then you have those clients that are like, yeah, I'm just like basically paying for a mannequin for hire for the next like 6 hours. So I'm just gonna dress them, get everything I need, and just get out of my face, which sucks. Like I think every model has gone through that.
I would say Korea is the worst, especially the Fashion Week. It's the worst thing.
Really?
I don't like this whole Fashion Week. I mean, this time I did it because the casting director and designer is a cool friend of me, and I did the closing on their first show, so they asked me to do again the closing for their third show. I said, okay, cool. I mean, even for the guarantee, I said, he's a friend, so I'm just going to help them get a bigger value on their show so that they can show up to other buyers. That was just a help. But like Seoul Fashion Week, since the beauty brand Hera is not anymore their sponsors. Now is the Seoul city mayor who taking charge of the Seoul Fashion Week.
Oh, really?
That's what I heard.
Oh.
So they don't have much money, not much budget on it. So even brands don't have much budget. So I mean, yeah, even in Europe, you don't earn much money with the shows because agency take that and that and that. I mean, still the amount is quite big, but after whenever you get the invoice, you don't have much. And if you don't do much shows, you don't get much. But in Korea, it's like $250 USD dollars in currency, I would say, or 300. That's the max rate you can get. Even though you're like me, if you are like a top model or not in Korea, same.
That's crazy.
Yeah, the guarantee fee is like too low, and you get a call time for a show like too early. And one of the biggest facts is like when I said I did White Project show with Jean-Paul Gaultier collaboration, they called us like 1 hour and a half before the show starts. I mean, that depends. Like if the hairstyle or the makeup is not too
complex,
crazy,
right?
it's okay. But Korea, like I had like a show for 4 p.m. and they asked me to come at 9 a.m. I was like, 11 hours earlier. I mean, why I have to get that time? And I get there. They make you,
right?
nothing happens.
Yeah.
Even the makeup team is not here. Hair team is not here. Whenever they come, they have to, they have to unpack all their suitcase and stuff. I mean, you can ask them to come at least like, I don't know, 12. That should be fine. 4 hours is okay.
It's just being unreasonable, like I can think of so many shows where like it was really simple, like map on where to go. Like maybe even it was just like a straight line and a turnaround, right? And then it's like we're doing rehearsal like 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, and I'm like, for what?
Yeah,
like
for nothing.
This is not gonna change anything, right?
Yeah, because there are some Korean models, there are some models who starts with the Seoul Fashion Week without being paid because I think for them this is worth to be to debut I said, no, you should get paid for what you did. That's like for everything. Like if you do a part-time job, you should get paid for something you did.
Mm-hmm.
And well, I mean, so when they're like kind of stressed for the first show, even though if it's like a straight line, they're like, oh, I don't remember. How should
Yeah.
I go out, like from left or right? And that's the fact. And also the shittiest fact of Seoul Fashion Week is like they don't have catering. You know, in Europe, when you do shows, they have at least water, like water bottles of water enough for everyone, and they will be resting. You know, when a few left after the shows, and there are also some fruits or like vegan stuff for the models because they know during the fashion week models don't eat much, and we have this medical shit you have to do for the fashion week. Korea doesn't, and they don't even give anything. Even the guarantee is low, they don't give us water. Like last time there was like water on the table, I was going to take it, and they said, "Oh, that's for the makeup team." Like the makeup team boss, you know, he bought it for his team, but the brand itself or the organization team, they don't buy anything. Like so, mostly, you know, the manager of the agencies, when they have several models of
They go
their
out and
agency
get it,
come
bring it
here,
back,
yeah.
right? So do you think like that there's anything that can start to be done to like kind of change this environment that the fashion space is in Korea to make it
Fashion
more
shows, I would say, you should be now out of the Seoul Fashion Week system. Because like mostly when I do shows like Kim Seoryong or Ink, they do it by their own, and they're really cool. They don't ask you to come early. They have catering. They take care of the models. Like the model itself is not just a product. It's like a human being on the set. Seoul Fashion Week is just like a trash can. Like models are like just something representing their products.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not a person, it's something.
So do you feel like a lot of brands are going to start leaving this fashion week group to start doing their own productions?
They are a lot, but they can't do it because they don't have much
Money?
budget. Yeah. Because they got at least a bit of sponsoring and some budgets from the Seoul Fashion Week team. And yeah, I mean, they don't get much. I think they get this stage, or that which is big for them. That's like a big money. If you have to borrow yourself like a building or like somewhere, it's kind of expensive. That's all money, but that's what they are helping, and also for marketing they are helping. So yeah. Well, I hope it's going to end. I mean, it's going down, like
Yeah.
down. It's like nobody's talking about Seoul Fashion Week, especially even for me as a street photographer. Last season, I didn't do any shows because I didn't want it. I did only photography, and I was hoping to shoot something, but no. Seoul Fashion Week, even people coming here are dressed like weirdos. They think like it's like a cosplay party. And like we go to DDP during the Seoul Fashion Week.
Yeah.
It's not a fashion week. It's like a cosplay. I don't know, comics something like. Just come by yourself. Just don't get dressed like weird. Don't show that you're like a fashion design student. You just have to come like well dressed or like simple. But there are more photographers than people, and that's
really?
the one. That's the thing too. Like there is a club, yeah, like SLR club,
Okay.
where in the Korean group chat like Naver, and those old ajashis coming with like those kind of lights. They have a screen on the set,
Really?
softbox, and like wow. I guess like all the cameras you have on the DDP during Seoul Fashion Week, if you just sell them, you buy a house.
Where are they posting those contents though? Like these old ajashi?
I don't know. They don't ask. Not all of them ask the models when they take them their Instagram. So I'm like, they should be somewhere, but maybe in the hard drive. Yeah.
Okay, I know like you have to run, so like we can start to wrap up a little bit.
Yeah.
I want to know like the top 3 brands that you're following right now that kind of influence your own style.
Oh, ooh, uh, that's hard.
Because I think as a model, like the personal identity and way you dress is really true to,
Mm.
and a lot of different things within fashion. But yeah, who are your top three that inspire you, or you're wearing, or you're on the radar of watching right
I would say first one is Acne Studio
now? Mm-hmm.
because they have uh such a various kind of style,
Mm-hmm.
and every time I look up on the campaign or shows or within lookbook, the styling is cool. Rather than that, I would say before it was Gucci when Michele Angeli was here,
Mm-hmm.
but now he's not anymore because I did the design is changed. I don't like the designer right now. Not my taste because it looks like Bottega Veneta. It's like copy paste. I like Bottega Veneta.
Mm.
That's my second one. With Matthew Blaze. Not like I mean Daniel Lee was cool, but same, not my style.
Mm-hmm.
Matthew Blaze more my style. And third one, uh, mm, 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 mm,
Any
other.
Korean brands or
Oh, Korean
designers
brands.
that are like catching your eye right now?
Uh, Dai.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how they pronounce it in Korea because like Dai in French is height,
Mm.
and their Instagram is super cool,
Mm.
and their stylings. I don't know which stylist or if it's the designer who's taking care of the lookbook, but styling is great. Even the
Mm.
model selection is great.
Mm.
The clothes are great, not that expensive to buy. They do a lot of sales, promotions. So yeah, those three are one of my best. I mean, if you ask me a question like this, I can't remember. Boom! Oh, I have this, and this. When I'm like alone with my friends, I like, oh, this these days I'm like, I love this brand. I
Mm.
can tell, but like if I get like these questions, I can't remember it right away.
Mm. Is there like anywhere specifically in Seoul that like is great for you to like build your closet? Like, where are you going in Korea right now to like source pieces for your wardrobe?
Hmm. I don't buy much clothes actually.
Mm.
I you ask like the brands. I look up on the brands and then I see their stylings. I try to make up from what I've got in my wardrobe to look like
Mm.
the styles they have these days. And that's more what I do than shopping.
Mm.
Shopping is more like when I go to a new shop and like, oh, I like this, I just buy it.
Mm.
But if that's not the case, I just don't buy it, or I just get like some presents from the brands,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't get every time because like, even though they want to give me, if I don't like it, I just don't get it.
Yeah.
So that's better for them and me,
Mm-hmm.
because like that's a money that like they're throwing monies on the air if I don't post anything.
Mm-hmm.
So that's more clever for me to do for the brand.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the case. Or usually I go to Hannamdong, Itaewon.
Okay.
They have more my kind of style.
Mm-hmm.
Seongsu, too complicated. Too many people. These days there's too many pop up, and I get dizzy, like
Overwhelmed.
yeah, overwhelmed.
Yeah. I mean, that's where our office is. And it's just like, I don't think, even like, I just want to go outside for a coffee.
Yeah,
There's like a line for like 10 minutes at this coffee shop, that coffee shop, this
yeah.
one. And it's just, actually, I'm always wondering, like, do these people not ever work? Like, there's so many people here all the time. Like,
There's also tourists, like from
yeah,
Malaysia,
that's true.
China,
Yeah.
Japan.
I
And
see
more
it.
like Hanam is more like Europe. Like
Yeah.
you can walk around with your dog, you
Mm-hmm.
go to the coffee shop with dogs, and people are not waiting for like as you said in Seongsu a line like hours and
Mm.
hours.
I mean, Hanam's like a little bit more upscale though, too,
It's
in
a bit more expensive also.
comparison,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But yeah, like I think Sungsu's great for like pop-ups, but if you're not a pop-up person, it's not a fun place to be around on a day-to-day basis. Yeah, that's it. I really appreciate you coming on. I think having a perspective from somebody that's has like a really strong career so far is really interesting, especially for people that are just getting into fashion or learning about fashion.
I mean, so are you.
We're not the same level though.
Well,
Like
you're more like in
for
Europe
reference,
kind of style.
I'm here and yeah, am I out of frame? Yeah, Hojin's up there.
Yeah, that's so different.
But yeah, I really appreciate you taking the time to come on and give people a little bit of insight into how you got into fashion, like what you're doing in fashion now, like how you keep yourself motivated, and um, all the different things we talked about. If you have any closing remarks, please, like I'll leave the floor to you.
Well, for for those of you who want to start modeling in Korea, one of my last things I want to tell you, uh, you can say to your friends that you're a model and fashion model. I'm going to be a fashion model. Just don't show off too much, because like fashion models, in the normal life they're nothing. Yeah, I mean, I don't act like I'm a fashion model. Well, maybe with the styles I get, people look at me like differently, not just because of my style, but also my face, because I look more like foreign than Korean. But also than that, and you need to learn about fashion. Like you need to have a little kind of knowledge for any kind of job you do. You have a minimum knowledge about what you're doing. In Korea, I'm not dissing everyone, but models mostly don't have much knowledge, don't have much passion. They just like shooting. Well, that's cool too, but money is not everything. If you want to do long run, you gotta learn. Try to do kind of hobbies which looks like which is related fashion, to be on the field more long and meet more various people. And when you have like those kind of social network parties, if you have knowledge, when you speak, you look more sexier and you look different.
Yeah.
Even though if you're a top model and if you don't know much things except what you've done, you look cheap. That's it. And that's one of the biggest. I mean, that's for everything, just not just modeling. Just it's not because it's not a job or like a work you learn on like other like accountants or lawyers. Like you don't read or learn by itself. You do it by experience. But still, since it's in the fashion, you gotta learn about fashion.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the biggest things I'm gonna tell you guys, and hope you guys become what you wanna do, what you wanna become, and I hope to see you. Hope to see you on the shows or like shootings or in the parties. Like, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to share with us today. Anybody out there, please like, follow, subscribe, the typical stuff. There will be more future iterations of this segment where we'll have new guests come on and share their experience. And yeah, I'd just like to say thank you again so much, Hojin. That was amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.